Ever wondered how we got here? Okay, relax. Then we start with the tutorial. First, we are going to shave the brows little by little. Sorry that most of these videos are on speed so that the hours will not be that long. The video will not be that long. But get your popcorn, sit down and watch this video, especially if you are still a beginner or maybe you are seeking to upgrade in one way or the other. Once you're done shaving your brows, you go ahead to wipe the face, clean the face well with your facial wipe or anything you are okay with. Then we move on to prepping the skin. You can see I've already hydrated the skin with my Kiss Beauty spray. I love that spray so much. As a beginner or as a makeup artist, that spray, the spray is underrated. So once I'm done with it, I allow the face to dry. I move on with my essence, my serum, my snail motion serum. Once I'm done with it, I'm going to moisturize the face with my Kosar Snail Motion moisturizer. Anyone you're doing, you'll be patting them to the skin, patting them to the face, and allow them to dry well before you place on another product. Once the face is dried, you will go in with our primer. I'll be using Aqua Grip water-based primer. It's a water-based primer. So I'm going to be applying them on the T-zones, but I also have this habit of putting them on the cheeks. Like once I'm done applying it, now if you pat the skin, you see like the skin is already prepped, it's already ready and hydrated, you understand? So once I'm done with this, I'm going to apply my sweat block also on the T-zones with my cotton bud. Apply the sweat blocks and allow the face to dry well. Then I will spray the face. I will hydrate it once more with my Kiss Beauty spray before I start my foundation application. Take a look at this skin glowing just after skin prep. You can see that this client had got this pimple, so I'm going to be going slowly, like easy to cover up all her face to have that full coverage that I really need. Take a look at the two different sides. Observe that one with the right skin type foundation is already smooth, while the other side is deeply crying to be touched. Here is the trick. While trying to select the right foundation for your client, please touch it a little at the neck. I didn't do this because I've already known the right foundation to use. Pat it a little at the neck and see if it matches with her face and skin. While applying the contour, do not just apply it on the face. Get it across the forehead to blend across the forehead. Likewise, the blush too. I understand that you're rushing to move over to the next step. Oh yeah, calm down now. Blend gently because you are mixing products together, and packing products. You need to blend very well so that there won't be any harsh lines. For the blush, I normally use my lip palette as my liquid blush. I'll be using red and pink here, just a touch of red and pink. Mix them together. concealer, I'll be using two shades lighter than her. Then the other concealer will be the shade normal to her skin tone. We'll apply that also on the forehead, the center of the nose, the lower mouth. Then we blend. Later, we contour the nose and still go again with concealer so that we can get that pointed nose that we really need. While prepping the skin, we forgot to moisturize the lips, so I'm going to quickly do that and also spray the face. I love once I'm done with my concealer application, I spray, like I hydrate before I blend. I don't know, but this, I think this helps my concealer to melt well to the skin, and this is one of the process I love in makeup so much. So quickly, I'm going to apply the powder contour, and after which I apply the powder blush. Now I will be setting the face with that my white powder. I'll use it to set everywhere that I applied my concealer. Once I'm done setting it, then I'm going to bake. I bake in a very small proportion. I'll be using my sacha powder to bake in a very small proportion. With my spoolie brush and also my edge control, I'm going to apply the edge control on that brows, and I'm going to use my spoolie brush and brush it like the way that I'll be drawing the brows, like brush it directly the way that I want the arc to be. Do you understand? Once I'm done doing this, I am going to pat the brows with the powder. I'm going to take a powder of a shade with my beauty blender and pat it there, so that there any oil stuck or anything, there won't be like that. There won't be like any oil, you understand? And also I'm noticed that I didn't like I'm still seeing some hairs on where my mark, the end of my brows will be, like the end of the line will be. I have to use razor and get them out. You understand? You can see how sharp that place is now. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to get my gel liner. Because she's fair, I'm going to be using a brown gel liner. You understand? And go with my brush and on the line. Just take your time and watch this video and see how I normally get my brows. To conceal the brows, I'll be using concealer, a shade lighter than her or two shades lighter than her. But here I just use a shade lighter than her for the tips and the middle. Then the beginning of our brows, I'll be using the foundation of her skin type. The foundation I used earlier on. Remember that I used the foundation I used earlier on is V Beauty, her skin type, you understand? So the foundation will be for the beginning, while the concealer will be for the middle and the tip. Then at the end, then I'll also apply the little foundation there, so it won't be too light. Then for the upper part of the brows, I'll still be using foundation. Do not use concealer on the upper parts, use your foundation. So little by little, I am going to conceal. Concealing is always one of the hardest parts in makeup. At least you're trying to get the brows, because the two brows are not the same size, just like your eyes. The both of them are not the same size, you understand? But you try your best to let it not be noticeable, you understand? You try your best to make both of them perfect. Once I'm done smooshing the brows with my spoolie brush, smooshing it gently, I am going to fade out the face with my brushes. Like I'm going to use powder and like brush off the face, brush off where we applied the foundation while concealing. I'm going to do all of them, but before that I'm going to use my eyeshadow base primer. I'm going to apply it on the eyelid, on the face, on the eyelid. I'm going to apply it smoothly, blend it out with that brush that I used to apply it. Then I'm going to use the powder. So on the tips of the brows, I'm going to use powder lighter so that the brows will be shining. Then at the beginning of the brows, I'm going to use the powder of her skin type, like the powder of her skin. Then coming to the nose, I'm going to be contouring it like powder contour using a powder, just a powder lighter that I sorry, a powder darker than her, just a step darker than her. Let the powder not be too much dark, because if it's dark more too much, if you're applying it on the face, on the nose will be very dark. So you are trying to avoid that. Just use a shade darker than her to contour that nose. Let that nose be pointed and giving that vibe that you really need. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to start applying my eyeshadow base with my transition. I'm going to go with that kind of a maybe a brownie. It's not, no, it's not going to be that deep brown, like a reddish brown transition color for the upper part. Then coming to the main lid, I'm going to be applying a white eyeshadow. Once I'm done with that white eyeshadow, I'm going to be using something like, I need like a darker something on the outer part, on the for the darker the outer one. I'm going to use a just a mixture, a small black, just a touch of black. Then I'm still going to use that my transition color and smoosh it off. You understand? Then also for that my white, the main lid, that my white eyeshadow that I did, I am going to use those shine. I don't know how to describe it for you, but at least you're going to see it on the video. I'm going to use that white shiny stuff to apply it there too. Then still you go back with that my white eyeshadow, place it there to give me that vibe that I really need.
Okay, so here is our finished look. Take a look at this beauty now. It's only at Miss Fiesta Beauty. Do you like what you see? My client was just admiring herself so well that she did video today, Taya. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And stay tuned for more of my videos, for more of our videos. Thank you.